What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color playing as Loki. His name is Grassengroom. In the top of the map in the red color playing as Odin. His name is Yoshii. We got a Loki versus Odin matchup here. This one's exciting because we haven't seen a huge amount of Loki versus Odin in the on the channel basically, but effectively this is just a really fun matchup. So I'm excited to see it. One thing that I think Yoshii could have done here is instead of going for the scout with the Skraeling, you could have pushed this giraffe under the town center and saved an ox cart here and had a really economic early game here. I think this is something which is going to be the next step for this new Norse build order, which yeah, I think it's really strong. At any point you can save an ox cart, you should try and save an ox cart. So for example, if you spawn a gold mine with giraffe close to the gold mine, you should try and push the giraffe close to the gold mine so you can share the ox cart on that and all the other good stuff. So we'll see how it's going to go, but this is going to be a really fast build order. There was this build order is effectively the same as what Squash put out a couple of weeks ago, and effectively you can get a 355 advance time with 3 ox carts, which is the idea. There's no weaknesses to it. There's no reason not to do it if you're going for a rush. If you're not rushing, then probably 355 not the best idea. Better to go a little bit slower, get those extra villagers out, get the little bit of extra economy going, because you're basically just going to be spending it on Herser anyways, and then defending when your opponent comes in. So we'll see how it's going to go. Moving over here and talking more about what Grassengroom is doing here. For some reason, Grassengroom has got 2 dwarves and 2 villagers on the gold already. This is something we're not seeing very much anymore from Loki players, especially when you've got a perfect 3 giraffe build here or start. The other thing is we're also seeing Norse players in general opting over this ox cart to be either shared from the gold mine, which is very possible here, or just grabbing the tree here and building the ox cart at the very last minute. But we'll see how things are going to go in this game. And Grassengroom should be able to get himself a decent enough advance time. Playing defensive here as Loki is absolutely normal. You utilize the troll in your base and you just play nice and defensively here against Odin. There's not really any other way to play it. Loki does have a slight disadvantage in the early game. He finds that advantage later in the game if he can survive. So we'll see how it's all going to go, as Yoshii can actually get himself a second. I like this. He's getting himself a second Ulfsark out here and going through Heimdall. Is this Ulfsark going to be for houses at home? Is it going to be for houses at home? No. Why would it be for houses at home? I thought it could have been for houses at home, guys. All right, Herser popping out over here on this one. We'll see how things are going to go. There's the house coming down for Yoshii. We've got wooden walls coming up over here for Grassengroom, trying to play nice and defensively here, advancing. Ooh, 1 extra dwarf here for some reason. He's gone up for the 5 dwarf opener. Now, if he throws another temple down here, this isn't the worst, because you can just spam out a bunch of Herser and just sit in your base, hopefully, and not just completely lose straight away. But he does need to throw up that second temple and start producing immediately, and also have really safe back food kind of over here. You could kind of go over there. Yoshii's probably going to scout that though and be on it immediately as the longhouse is getting dropped down onto this location here for Yoshii. Now, this is technically a mirror matchup, but it's not a mirror matchup because it's Odin and it's Loki. So there's definitely an advantage here to be aggressive for the Odin player. If this was Odin versus Odin, I would say that this might be a little bit risky here from the Yoshii point of view. As Grassengroom over here throwing some walls up over here. We do see the villagers moving on to this location. Here, the ravens here circling around for Yoshii. He hasn't spotted it out just yet. The raven's like, where is his villagers? And they're over there. As we see one house going down, a second house going down. Yoshii, or Grass and Groom, excuse me, going to be in a very tough position here as he's not even produced these Hersa just yet. There's the Troll here. He can utilize that to try and defend this position ever so slightly here as the Aini are going to get taken down on this location. You do see a healing spring going up, houses going up there, and there's the classic undermine coming down over here, denying that house as well. Love that play, and also picking off that sentry tower. That's max value there as Yoshii is just going absolutely crazy. He's going to clean up this temple as well, also microing his units back here. The troll getting a little bit out of position here. It's worth it to dive on that troll there, but Grass and Grim does notice that when they're dropping his bags. Finally going to get some units out. Grass and Grim 35 population to Yoshii, who is at 45 population already here. Ladies and gentlemen, going to continue to put pressure on. He hasn't noticed that this is where the hunt operation is going on. So Grass and Groom is getting away with murder right now. He's doing a lot of really, really... well, he's getting away with, definitely getting away with murder. We do see the Raven now noticing what's going on over here as the army is finally going to make their move onto this position, as Grass and Groom will have to retreat off of here, but he doesn't notice that that's what's going to happen. He does get his spider senses tingling just ever so slightly as the raiding cavalry coming through here. We'll see if Yoshii can get around on the front here to get any sort of building blockage happening. Not going to happen there as Grass and Groom gets his villagers mostly back home. He will have access to all of these pigs, and now we see those houses coming as a bit of a liability here, as more houses coming up here for Yoshii as the army swinging up here as well to deal with all of this. So we'll see how this is all going to go as more dwarves coming out over here for Grass and Groom. More houses coming down as now Grass and Groom will have to retreat back home here. We'll see how things are all going to go, but I think the problem here... Well, actually, I want to talk about this just a little bit. So no husbandry here does kind of make this point moot, but in this matchup, or just in general, if you push your opponent off of hunt and they still have pigs, they're not that far behind you. You don't actually have that much of an advantage. Because if the villagers are popping out onto pigs from the town center, they have 0 walking time. They're going to be able to get a lot of food income if they can jump straight onto those pigs. But you need husbandry to make that work and not fall too far behind. See another longhouse coming down for Yoshii. He's continuing to pump these guys out here. Raven on this position over here, checking that hunt out. He's kind of letting the bottom side of the map be unscouted here, and there definitely could have been some hunt down there, but it seems like maybe Yoshii has scouted everything out that he thinks exists, though he doesn't really know what's on the map at this point. It's now the elves are going to be moving down to the bottom side of the map here. Going to be maybe walling this off, scouting out the gold mine, playing for that second gold mine coming through. It's Grass and Grim 72 of 75 population, Yoshii 79 of 85 population here. And we'll see how things are going to go here as more raiding cavalry moving in onto this position. Is Yoshii going to be pulling back ever so slightly here? Houses coming down, doing all the good stuff on this spot. Just hanging back as best as he can. We see the troll doing its thing here. I think if Grass and Grim can get a bunch of trolls out here, he's actually going to be in a good spot. I think one thing that wouldn't be a bad idea is once this gold mine expires, grab this wood and then get yourself your temple back and spam a bunch of trolls and then move out onto your second gold mine. Because a bunch of trolls here would probably win this army. As Yoshii is still mustering his army nicely. Grass and Groom here, 88 of 95 population, deciding not to make all too many of those Herso here. As he's trying to get in. Looks like he wants to take this fight. He doesn't have the population. He does have the tech advantage. The troll in the back going to do some good damage here. There is an Einhjar, though. That's going to be a really big problem as well. Imagine forest fire here, though, it's Heimdal. We see the Thrown Axeman getting surrounded here, and Yoshii looks like he might be able to just straight win this fight just with the sheer amount of units he gets. And you do see an Einhjar spawn, though, for Grass and Groom. That's a really big help, though, in this fight. We'll see if that's going to be enough, though, as the Hersa does get taken out. The other Hersa of Yoshii still alive over here, going to be able to clean up that enemy Einhjar very, very fast here, as it's doing quite a bit of damage, but does end up falling here. And now Yoshii can start pumping a lot of villages onto gold to pump out a whole bunch of those Einhjar. Now Grass and Groom retreating back. We see the dwarves moving over onto this gold mine. That's going to be spotted immediately by Yoshii here. as his Raven is flying above here. We'll see if there's going to be any chance here for Grass and Groom to hold this. Like I said, I think that after that, if you did want to take that fight, after that fight, just spend it all on trolls, put your villagers onto trees, or your dwarves onto trees, get those trolls out, and maybe, just maybe, you can win the next fight, because mass trolls do actually beat the Einhjar throw an axeman composition in the end of the day. But it looks like the dwarves going to get taken out. The army coming through here for Grass and Groom. Yoshii going to be able to win this fight. A nice snipe there onto that dwarf over here. As the army coming back in, the dwarves going to come onto this gold mine and see how they're going to go. As we've got the troll here doing its best. Ooh, nice snipes here from Yoshii. His micro has been very, very good. Taking a little bit of chip damage, is just running away, but he's doing it nicely. As I think Yoshii's just a little bit low on gold at the moment. He's trying to get out as much as he possibly can to get back up to full population and find himself an advantage. Grass and Groom is actually very much alive here. He's got his gold mine here. Again, just needs to spend that favor. Losing that temple was obviously a nightmare, and we see the temple coming up now for Grass and Groom here. And he's going to be able to get those trolls out. The question is, can he get them out fast enough? And is Yoshii just going to be able to get to the next stage? We see upgrades coming through for Yoshii here. Oftentimes, just going straight to the Mythic Age is the right play in this matchup, as the army pushing forward. Those raiding cavalry are about to get buffed up as well from that medium raiders, but Yoshii decides not just yet. Let's wait for some more Einhjar to come in. Now Grass and Groom should just cut production and just make trolls for the rest of his life here. Somewhat. Maybe come back over here and eat these gazelle. There's not a whole lot of food anywhere else. There's food on the middle here as well. Now the Einhjar coming through here for Yoshii. This buffs these guys up so much. Wait, does it? Pretty sure. Well, they didn't get buffed there because they're too far away. But the raiding cavalry gets such a huge buff on this one. Nice micro from Grass and Groom. Yoshii not really paying attention here. He's going to be trying to snipe down all these throwing axemen, but without the trolls here from Grass and Groom, he's just not going to be able to win this fight. He's microing it somewhat with the troll onto the Einhjar, but not quite enough there. And Yoshii gets the dub. Really, really nice play here from Yoshii, but you do have to ask the question, what would have happened here if Grass and Groom had simply just committed to spending that 82 favor in his bank there on trolls here? He would have been able to hold and continue in this game. It would have been a really interesting one, but didn't quite make the connection that it's such an important thing here to get an advantage over Heimdall. I actually think the more that you watch Heimdall, that if your opponent has access to Forseti, which obviously Odin doesn't, but if your opponent has access to Forseti just hard counters Heimdall. Am I wrong in saying that? I think that Forseti hard counters Heimdall. I'm going to say it again. Forseti hard counters Heimdall. You just need to make trolls. And like one fight to get the favor before the Einhjar come out, and then mass trolls. And you're just like, what are you going to do now? You can't hit me. You can't attack me. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.